This guy has a long history of beef, specifically with me and Craig.
Literally attacking my character for over an hour.
What I wasn't expecting was for him to tell categorical lies.
You know, he hyped it up for 3 years. I was expecting something really awesome, and I felt that it really was junk.
I'm against exposure.
He exposes magic on YouTube.
Creators are sick and tired of you exposing their creations in your product reviews.
Someone should teach him a lesson.
And this is the thing, you knew it was vindictive because you emailed Christian Grace.
Those are not my emails. I never wrote any of those.
4 days after the release of the product. And this is actually what you said in those emails.
I've never communicated with Christian Grace in my entire life, ever. Who fabricated those emails? I also wonder if Christian Grace is in on that, or does he actually think he's actually talking to me?
Yeah, so that happened. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of Magic News. And you've probably guessed by now that we are going to be talking about decks and the drama that surrounded decks. Now, if you're unfamiliar, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this right here, this is Decks. It is a magic product by Lloyd and Javier. I bought one, obviously, as you can tell, and it's an index, right? It's a playing card index, a full deck index in a single pocket, and it was advertised as the quickest of its kind. I got one because it looked really good. I watched the trailer. I'm a big fan of Lloyd. I trust him and I trust his work, and I trust that it will be good. So I've been playing with this for about a week, maybe a bit over a week, and I never do magic reviews, right? I've never really done magic products reviews, except in like exceptional circumstances, like I reviewed those weird glasses, but that was kind of an odd product that I wanted to talk about. But the average magic release, like this sort of thing, I never do magic reviews. I never talk about things like this, and there are reasons for that. Magic is a performance art, and so for me, if a product is allowing you to perform that art, how can you review the product if you haven't performed the art yourself? So I can't perform decks right now. I've only been playing with it for about a week. That isn't enough time for me to have learnt it and performed it and then get a review video out. If I went through that whole process, I'd never be able to review every magic product, right? I don't understand how these magic review channels do it, because how can they perform all of these tricks? How can they dedicate the time to learning it? I'm saying all this sort of as a precursor before we get into the drama, because I think it's important. I think it needs saying, and it becomes relevant when we talk about unbiased magic reviews, which is a channel run by a guy called David. Not this David, the magic reviewer, a different David, the magic reviewer. Turns out there's two of them. David has found himself in a little bit of heat recently after making a review video of decks and not entirely being accurate, or at least that's according to Lloyd Barnes, who made a lengthy response video to the review, calling him out specifically on at least 10 lies that he told during the review, and coming with the receipts and the evidence to back it up. And of course, because this is YouTube, David responds with a rebuttal, another response video, and yeah, things have kicked off. So I'm here to sort of talk about everything that happened in a shorter, simpler format, but also give my opinions on it. Who is in the right here? And there's also this weird sort of Christian Grace angle. Christian Grace, another magician, released another effect. David has reviewed that effect in the past without buying the product. Now, we will get into all of this. It's very complicated, but first, let's start with the specific lies that David supposedly told in his video. Statement number one that David says in his video is that other reviewers were gifted decks. Now what this means is that he is claiming that other reviewers were sent the product for free and therefore can't give an unbiased opinion because they were given it for free, and so, you know, maybe they were sort of encouraged to be positive about it because they got the product for free. Lloyd comes out and says that this is a categorical lie in his response video, and he comes with the proof, with clips from other review channels where they have literally said in the video that they bought it and paid for it with their own money. So they weren't gifted it, and I think it's worth mentioning that even if they were gifted it, how many times have I been sent a deck of cards to review on this channel? I've been sent the deck for free. Doesn't mean I give it a positive review at all. Even if it's from a creator I really admire, I will be critical and I will be scathing on elements of the deck, or maybe even the whole deck in general. The fact that I was given it for free doesn't affect that whatsoever. I will still give an honest review, and I think most reviewers are like that. Statement number 2, Murphy's have locked the Magic Cafe thread. Imagine saying that sentence to a non-magician. What they would be like, I'm sorry, what? I understood some of those words, but in that order I do not know what you're on about. Murphy's, that's Murphy's Magic, the company, have locked the Magic Cafe thread. I do believe this is the first time I've mentioned the Magic Cafe on this channel. It is something that I try and avoid. I've very rarely gone on the Magic Cafe. I don't have an account. I don't use it. It's not the place for me. I don't feel particularly at home in the Magic Cafe, but it's a magic forum, a bright sort of green and yellow, horrible to read magic forum, and there are threads about different products. And the Dex product thread has supposedly been locked, and David is claiming that it's Murphy's. The same Murphy's who, you know, are on the back of the box. So that would be a bit weird. And also Lloyd comes out and again says, categorical lie, Murphy's can't do that. They wouldn't do that for one of their own products. Yes, they sponsor the Magic Cafe, I think, but again, I'm on Lloyd's side here because it doesn't seem like that's something that Murphy's could do or even would do. So yeah, let's tally that up as another false statement. Statement number 3 is now very specific to do with the product, which hasn't really got much mention so far, but let's not forget that it is a playing card index. And David claims in his review that you can't use any card. It is advertised as a 52 card index. It is true that the index is designed to hold 48 cards, but in the instruction video, they do cover how to add the aces to the index. And no, you don't have to use a separate pocket, which David says that it can turn into a 2-pocket index. That's not true at all. You can definitely add the aces to the single pocket index and use them quite comfortably. Again, they demonstrate that in the instructions. But yes, the actual index only holds 48 cards, so it's kind of a split decision. I'm going to a split decision like a boxing match here. I kind of think they're both right. It's just personal preference whether or not you add the aces. It's such a minor issue. It really is a minor issue, and I want to gloss over it. What isn't a minor issue for David is his next statement. It's cheaply made. The bottom of the index, if you imagine this is the index, I'm not going to show it, but I will do this with my hands. It sort of comes apart at the bottom. Now there is glue at the bottom. Mine, when I opened it, was fully glued down, but yes, as I've been using it for about a week, it has started to come open and come apart. Now personally, when I opened the box and when I saw the thing for the first time, I was surprised, personally, at the materials that were being used. I kind of expected it to be made of leather or something like that, but it isn't. I can tell you it's not made of leather or metal or anything like that, but that doesn't matter because it still does the job, it still serves the purpose. It being made of leather or metal would only make it thicker and would only make it harder to use. At the end of the day, you want it to be thin and you want it to be easy to use, and so sure, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but no spectator is ever going to see it. I think too often with hidden gimmicks like indexes or whatever, people, and by people I mean magicians, want it to look nice as well as serve a purpose. And I think Lloyd and Javier have made a very good choice of just going, you know what, it doesn't matter what it looks like, let's just make it work. I'm almost tempted to sort of skip over the next lies, because there are 10 in total, and Lloyd rebuttals each of them and comes with evidence. But I am going to talk about Unbiased Magic Review's vendetta against Lloyd. Lloyd is claiming that David, whose channel is called Unbiased Magic Reviews, is actually very biased because he's had past drama, past beef with Lloyd over the idea of exposing magic secrets. And I'm not going to sort of bang on about this too much. People that watch this channel know my opinions on exposing magic secrets, and Lloyd pretty much repeats what I would say, which is that it's not exposing, it's teaching. There's a huge difference. Learn the difference, basically, to David. Like, it's just a silly argument. But he also says, Lloyd, that Unbiased Magic Review is more guilty of exposure than him, because in his magic reviews he often shows parts of gimmicks that he's not meant to and alludes to methods, and those are methods and gimmicks of other creators, which is obviously more exposure than Lloyd teaching his own creations on his own YouTube channel, which why would anyone have an issue with that? I don't know. To make this matter worse, a direct quote from David is that someone should teach Lloyd a lesson and expose one of his tricks. That is coming from Mr. Anti-Exposure, David Unbiased Magic Reviews, which is a really bad thing to say. Lloyd also brings up the fact that David's own magic performances aren't very good. He's stumbling his way through the trick, he's being called out on methods by spectators, even by kids. And David's response to this is that, well, I'm not a professional, I'm just an amateur magician, magic's just a hobby, magic reviews are just a hobby. Which is, in my opinion, a quite insulting response, actually, because there are some phenomenal amateur magicians, right? You don't have to be professional to be good. It doesn't have to be your job for you to be good. That is very insulting to say, well, magic's not my full-time job, so how can you expect me to be any good at magic? What? Magic's not my full-time job. Does that mean that I'm a bad magician? No, of course, I put a lot of time and dedication into magic. The fact that it's not my full-time job doesn't make a jot of difference. That's a really weird response, and something that, again, is very insulting to hundreds and thousands of amateur magicians who are very, 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 very good. But again, I'm going to return to that point that David is reviewing magic products that he hasn't performed, which to me is mind-boggling. How can you review a product enabling performance art without performing the art? I'm going to say it again, it makes no sense. But not only that, I alluded to it earlier, David's been reviewing magic products that he hasn't even bought, let alone performed, he hasn't even bought. And this is where Christian Grace comes into it. There was a product a while ago that David reviewed 2 days before it even launched. It was a magic app launched by Christian Grace, and David made a video saying why he wasn't going to buy it and why it was terrible, listing reasons, listing things that were wrong with it, before it had even launched. He hadn't bought the product, he couldn't have bought the product, and how can you call yourself a magic reviewer if you're reviewing something that isn't even out yet? In Lloyd's response video, he literally shows emails from David to Christian saying, oh, I'm sorry if my review video is gonna hurt the release of your product. I can delete the videos if you want, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, it goes without saying that it would hurt the release of the product, because people might watch David's review video, believe all of the lies, believe all of the speculation that he's talking about, despite the fact he hasn't even bought the product. The viewers might take that to heart and then choose not to support Christian and his product, which obviously is really going to negatively affect Christian. Now, this whole email thing I thought was pretty definitive proof that yes, this happened and David really meant it, and this is where the sort of twist comes in, because in David's response video to Lloyd's response video, David says that the emails are fake. Which, what? I'm sorry, what?
I've never communicated with Christian Grace in my entire life, ever. And what I wonder about is this, was who fabricated those emails? I also wonder if Christian Grace is in on that, or does he actually think he's actually talking to me?
Either you're lying about that, or the emails are fake, in which case it kind of throws into question, where have these emails come from? Has Lloyd made them? Has Christian made them? I don't think so. I don't think that they would do that. He also says, you know, basically it's borderline defamation. It might violate YouTube policies to show a fake email and say that it's real and say that it's written by him. It's weird, and it goes way beyond a magic review. Can you believe that we're still talking about a magic product, a playing card index made for magicians? And now we're talking about fake emails and all of this insults being thrown and speculation being thrown around. It's mad. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to give my closing thoughts. And my closing thoughts are very, very simple, and I want to sort of address David here. Take some time. I'm not going to say quit. I've seen some other people out there on Instagram stories and stuff saying David should just quit magic reviews and stop because, you know, clearly he's throwing around false statements and getting himself into a mess. And I agree that he's got himself into a mess. I'm not going to say quit. I would never tell anyone to quit. Clearly he loves making magic reviews, and that is something that I think he should follow, but in the right way and for the right reasons. don't make things up to get views. Don't say, I hate this product, and then, you know, make your reasons up afterwards just to get the clicks, because I feel like that might be what's happening. It definitely feels like a sort of screaming kid wanting attention and throwing stuff out of the pram. Oh, I hate this. Even if that's not his genuine opinion, it kind of feels like that might be what's going on here. So I would say to David, take a little time, take a week, take 2 weeks, take a month, whatever, however long you need, and just think about why you're making magic reviews. Make them for the right reasons. Be honest, be true to yourself. Share your opinion by all means. If you made a negative review of decks, I don't think anyone would have an issue with that if you gave legitimate reasons. Obviously, there are a lot of points and a lot of opinions that I couldn't cover in this video, but in general, I think Lloyd was right to make a response video and call this reviewer out. Clearly, this isn't the first time he's overstepped the mark and reviewed products in a way that doesn't quite fit the word unbiased. The irony of him actually being called unbiased magic reviews and then coming out with a video that is clearly very, very biased. Yeah, this is a strange one. Hopefully you understand the situation a little better. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below and hit the thumbs up button as well while you're down there. It really does help the channel out. And subscribe as well if you're new to the channel and you like anything and everything to do with magic. This is the channel for you, so make sure to subscribe. And one last thing, I have 3 decks of cards currently on Kickstarter. These are the CVN Strikers. This right here is the Workers Edition. And this is the Intergalactic Edition. Oh yes, you can support all 3 of these decks over on Kickstarter. Make sure to hit the link in the description, and if you like the look of these, then make sure to go and check them out and pledge to the project. Thank you very much for watching. Until then, take care, guys.